In a police station, he would feel a sense of loss from time to time. A bizarre sense of loss that felt like he was forgetting something important. But even when he tries to recollect, there was nothing he had forgotten. It's just that the more and more he thought about it, the bigger the void in his heart would grow. Asking Jin-chul what he's thinking about, he responds that there's no time for a busy guy like him to be sad, so they should just focus on work. In the violent crimes department, Jin-chul questions who these guys are, and another cop responds questionably just before the man says that a shadow monster came out of the ground and talked to him, saying that if he didn't turn himself in within 24 hours, he would regret being alive. He then screams to the detective admitting his crime and asks to be taken into custody. Jin-chul wonders how he should report this, but another officer tells him to let the newbie deal with it as he wants him to go to the meeting room. In the room, Jin-chul repeats that he's wanted to release those who've surrendered themselves, and a man tells him to lower his voice or everyone outside will hear. Questioning what on earth they're talking about, he responds that they're not just releasing them, but want to see what will happen if they stay outside for 24 hours. Jin-chul says they're just high right now and are spouting crap, and the monster is probably just some side effect. However, he's told that they were tested for drugs and tested negative, as the man even went to the National Forensic Service to check the results. And does it make sense that all these people who are not connected to each other would see the same thing and surrender at the same time? The higher-ups told them to look into the reason for a while now, yet they still don't have an idea at all. What else can they do? So, they're making that nonsensical situation that they're talking about happen. Jin-chul wonders what if something really happens to them, and the men just laugh before smirking, asking if he's the type to believe in ghosts. He's told that nothing will happen, and they'll just be bringing those suspects to a quiet storage area to see what happens. There'll be several bulky detectives watching over them, so they can't escape. The man adds that if a monster really does appear, then shouldn't they be thankful it happens? Saying they need volunteers, he invites Detective Wu to stay out, but he accepts the idea. This side story continues. In a warehouse, a man screams that he really mustn't be here or he'll die. But a detective tells him to sit still since there's something they have to investigate. He asks why the man would die, adding that they are protecting him, and asks Detective Kim how long until the time is up, to which he responds 10 minutes. Noticing the chill in the warehouse, Jin-chul thinks it feels like the air around them is different from usual, and Kim announces that the time is up. The men look around as the confused criminal wonders why it's not happening. Detective assumes they all took drugs as a group and tells him not to hold out on them and be straight. But Cuff said he really saw it and there were actually 4 of them. Suddenly alarmed, Jin-chul yells for it to come out and a shadow erupts, attacking the 2 detectives and slamming them against the warehouse walls, leaving them unconscious. The man looks forth in horror as tears stream in his eyes and multiple shadow monsters stand before the 2. Jin-chul is terrified seeing 3 monsters really came out, and the man screams bloody murder as the ants close in to attack. Blood spews everywhere and dislocated limbs fly as the blood-covered ants stand back up. An alarmed Jin-chul takes step back as the ants turn their attention to him, but only looking at him, Detective Wu questions if it's smiling, but dismisses it, wondering how he's able to tell from their expressions that they're glad to see them. It's as if he's familiar with situations like this. This side story continues.